What's up, everybody? Shawn here with another Live to Roll. Got a cool show for you today. Bobby wasn't feeling so great, so he had to miss. So just thoughts out to Bobby, and hope he's feeling better. But we got Leland on here, awesome, living and active in the chat all the time. So we're gonna go ahead and talk to him a little bit. And if you guys have any questions, any comments, anything you want to add to the conversation, definitely drop them down in the chat. We'd
Oh,
love to hear from you.
hang on.
And yeah, so I'm Shawn. I'm a C5, C6 quadriplegic from a snowboarding accident 22 years ago now. Just hit my 22-year mark last Friday. Leland, you want
Wow.
to introduce yourself, man? You can do a little bit more. I introduce myself every day, so you can tell a little bit more about yourself if you like.
Sure. I will. Try not to waste too many people's time or too much of anybody's time. My name is Leland, as Sean has said. I have a channel, Living and Active. I am an incomplete C6, C7 quad. I also have some, as of yet, undiagnosed neurodegenerative thing going on. Um, but I don't know what else to say about myself. I've got a lot of stuff going on. I don't want to waste anybody's time with it. You guys can talk to me. We can talk together, do more of these shows, whatever, and we can learn little bits as we go. I don't want to be rude and just command everyone's attention. So, hello to everyone in the chat. I can't see the chat, I don't think,
You can't
but
see it?
hello to everybody that I'm used to
Uh,
talking to in the chat.
okay, I can highlight the things, but also if you want, check on the side. There might be a little option for you just to open up the chat if you want
There's
to
an
check.
icon here. It's like looks like a chat bubble,
Yeah, you can. I think
and
hit
it's got
that,
a
and
red dot.
it should open up for you.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, cool, perfect. That way, now
I'm
we.
obviously not a professional.
No, that's awesome, man. I'm really glad we did get you on here. And you were actually we were going to use your topic a couple weeks ago. We were kind of going to do like the bonus Thursday one, and then we just ended up not because I didn't want to rush it too much, and we had to like just kind of Bobby, and we wanted to have you on here and stuff to talk about it, not just kind of talk about it.
Appreciate that.
And for people that don't know, we are talking about, if you didn't see, the topic is just like disability organizations, support groups, and like finding local support, um, and kind of some of the issues and problems with a lot of that, sometimes some of the organizations and things. um, so if you guys have anything you want to comment, definitely let us know. um, but yeah, Leon, so for you, I know, what area are you from again? I'm sorry, I'm blanking for a
I
second.
probably could have included that in my introduction. I am actually in Southwest Wisconsin. I'm
Southwest
very
Wisconsin.
close to. I'm in the Driftless region, as they call it, but I'm like centrally located. Iowa's not that far away. Minnesota's not that far away. Illinois isn't that far away. So
Oh, cool. Yeah. So
that's where
you're.
I'm at.
Have you ever gone out to the Chicago Abilities Expo? I think that'll probably be your closest one if you are near Illinois.
Um, I've been wanting to. That is the closest one. I've been wanting to get out there, but I have a limit to how far I can drive, and I don't have anyone to like drive for me or with me. So because I have severe neck instability issues because this is still an active injury. So long term driving just isn't for me.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I mean, that is probably a clip. I know Leon did it last year. He went to Chicago from Minnesota, but that was the one thing I remember from doing that expo a couple times. Is a lot of people from all over, like the kind of Midwest area, do tend to travel to that one. That's kind of the central hub for ones. But yeah,
I'd
do you
love
want
to go just to be in the environment with so many other disabled people that speak the language that have the experience. That would be awesome. But it's just logistics.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's hard for sure. The travel part of it's hard. I mean, even if it's an hour travel, it's hard. It could be quite a bit of. It's hard to do sometimes. But yeah, I was just wondering. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about some disability organizations and some just support, and stuff like that. And I know you have been trying to start up a local group because there wasn't really anything near you, right? That's what
Right.
you've been working on.
Yeah. So I got into this area. Uh, Very weird. I didn't even know this town existed until someone told me there was an apartment here. Um, but I was in the middle of some completely different life trajectory or whatever, and then uh, my injury. I was initially injured in 2002 with a low back uh, SCI that didn't take my legs out from under me completely, but I was in the army at the time. Um, Lots of weird things happened. Um, so uh, came to 2019, I started having to use a cane. Then I started going to bilateral forearm crutches, and then eventually the wheelchair about 3 years ago, a little bit longer. But I was looking around and I was isolated. I got here, I didn't know anybody, didn't have any roots. I'd moved here when I could still sort of walk the cane or whatever. But I started getting incredibly lonely, isolated. And I was like, there's got to be like some support groups or something. You know, there's an ADRC, which is Aging and Disability Resource Center, like 11 miles from where I live. I was like, there's got to be something around here. But the more I looked, the more I came to realize that absolutely everything in this area is geared towards taking disabled people into the more built up corridor between Madison,
Oh,
but they're highly specialized and they're not about building interactions and friendships and everything, although they're presented as like a healthful side effect. But, you know, um, I feel like I'm lagging. The
it
main focus,
you're all right. It lagged for just a second, but you're okay still.
okay, can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
Okay.
it
Uh,
just kind of just buffered for a second and a couple times, but you're good now again.
but the organizations that are in place in this area, they're very limited in terms of scope. Their interactions are 100%. And anything bad about this podcast, let me say that uh, off the top. But their only level of interaction between people is it's all remote access. There's no uh, there's no opportunity really for just getting together and hanging out and everything. So it's just really structurally limited and everything else, and everything is pushing the agenda of the growth of the organization. It's not about the people at all. They do good work, but that's all they know is the work. They don't know the people.
Right.
So I didn't find anything. And then before, when I went from the cane to uh, the forearm crutches, I had to sell my truck because I couldn't drive stick anymore.
Oh wow, you were still driving stick with your cane.
Yeah, I was. I fought so hard. I fought so hard. I can't even describe how hard I fought to stay out of a chair and do all these other things that people told me that I was supposed to be doing. But yeah, I was still driving a stick, and then all of a sudden I couldn't anymore. So I sold the truck, and then I had nothing. I couldn't go anywhere. Where I live is all built up. It's all like really steep hills in every direction, and I just had me and my manual wheelchair. So, uh, and for 2 years I couldn't drive. I couldn't do anything. I had no equipment to help me. So I just sat in my apartment getting rides from my neighbors to go grocery shopping or whatever was needed. Uh, but beyond that, I had no interaction with pretty much anybody. And then I was able to get my hands on a vehicle, on a van, and I started um, actually making use of it. And then my landlord came up one day and he told me that in winter I had to put my van in storage so that I didn't get in the way of snow removal. That's the kind of atmosphere I live in.
That's yeah. That's
So once I hit that realization and I was like, okay, I can move around. This thing still doesn't exist. I need it to exist. So now I'm going to do what's necessary to help or make it exist for myself and for others. And I'm not going to let anybody change what it needs to be.
yeah. No, that's a honestly, that is great. And I know that is an issue for sure. Like that, even around here locally and stuff, a lot of times the support groups are, sponsored by an organization, which typically it's can be somewhat like mild, but they are pushing the organization, they are pushing the stuff. And the problem with those typically is if they do sponsored groups. Those are the ones that I really feel that's it. When they have somebody from a business or a company that's sponsoring the group and then coming and kind of like selling you a product or something like that while you're kind of just seeking community and support. Um, so I know that's definitely a frustration for a lot of people out here. And that's why the more like grassroots, community based like meetup things are usually a lot nicer for the people in the community. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, so I'm gonna actually show your flyer. Then, do you want to talk about a little
Yep.
bit of
Sure.
what you started and what you're doing with that? Then, here we go.
Okay. So there we go. Angry Quad, yes, you're absolutely correct. Isolation is a prison, and I was in that prison for 2 years, staring at the walls, imagining all of the things that I wanted to do or would do for my own benefit and for other people. Once I was outside of that prison, once I was able to break free, just waiting for somebody to open the cage door, you know, and turn their back so I could get out. But living inactive is kind of the answer that I found is the response, really. As you can see on the flyer, it's peer mentoring and social interaction. For it says for people with physical disabilities and their caretakers, but it's really for anybody that genuinely wants to learn, not some kind of weird fetish type thing or stating some sort of unnatural level of curiosity.
Right.
Um, but just for people to actually want to genuinely understand what disabled people go through and make friends. That's what all this is about. This is about making and keeping friends and learning from the friends you make and keep. So the ultimate goal basically is to establish multiple meeting gathering places, sorry, places to gather, locations, venues, or whatever on a schedule, dedicated space, because that's something we don't have. Anywhere we go, as disabled people, you've got to have a reason to be there. You've got to have permission, especially if there's people with multiple mobility or multiple people with mobility aids there, because we take up a lot of space,
Yeah.
you know, and
No, that's
a
true.
lot of places are ADA compliant as long as there's no more than two people with wheelchairs in there, you know.
No, I know. That's exactly
Uh,
once you get multiple wheelchairs in a location, it's
yeah,
typically it starts to clog up everything pretty quick.
but
Uh,
it's this is literally about providing a venue, opportunity, and an invitation, an excuse, really, to just meet other people, uh, disabled people, caretakers, whatever, support personnel, people that are interested in getting into nursing, things like that, just so they can actually interact with disabled people in a non clinical, informal, unscripted type of scenario. Um,
right. No,
so
that's pretty
this
cool.
this has a heavy focus on uh, also getting into interdisab- interdisability. Is that a word? It should be. Um,
Interdisability,
type of
inter
interdisability. Like,
intersectionality is one thing I know. That's where things
there you
cross
go.
like past. That's what Leah said. Yeah,
But
but
like, there's no rules saying that we're only allowed to have one disability. You know, a quadriplegic can go blind or deaf due to an accident. Somebody that's deaf could get into an accident and end up needing a wheelchair. A blind person could have something happen and need a wheelchair. So ultimately, this is about developing real friendships, interactions. Um, oh wait, virtual support. Oh, Leah has asked a question that I must answer. So I will allow myself to be derailed, and gladfully so, because I was fumbling for words. So Leah asked, "Do you plan to have any virtual support groups or in person only?" Okay, so I'm going to answer this not carefully but truthfully. Um, Honestly, every single thing that's presented to us as disabled people is geared towards lending itself to remote access and whatever else, in the name of making it accessible. So, what could happen is you've got this thing going on, peer mentoring, whatever, and then there's the ability for people to access it remotely. So what happens is now you have to have some sort of audio video equipment. You've got to uh, bring it in, and you have to set it up so that uh, whatever happens from the person that's online trying to participate remotely has to take precedence over whatever's happening in the main group, and whatever's happening in the main group has to be oriented so that the view of the person that's joining online isn't obstructed, and to give everybody a chance to speak. And it really does limit the extent to which interaction can happen. So no, uh, at the living and active gatherings, they are not going to be open to remote access, for the benefit of the people that are there.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, doing the hybrid style one with having both a virtual and in person. That's logistically everything about it is super difficult um, and not very like it doesn't improve things. It's going to make everything a little bit harder and a little bit more stressful and just not as functional. So
and truth be told, there's an oversaturation of opportunities to do that. I'm not opposed to people, interacting socially with other people online. Obviously, or I wouldn't be here right now doing this show. But I think there needs to be a return to something that is more organic, something that is more genuine, in person, direct, and immediately reciprocal for the benefit of everybody there.
right, and then Leah asked you just so no like separate online one either, right? Just strictly doing
You know,
the in
I
person.
have I want to open up my channel. I forgot to send you guys a link to that. I'm sorry,
I
but
know
I
I
want
have
to
your
open up my
I got your
channel.
channel link in the description, so people can click
Oh,
below. I have the Living and Active channel link in the description below. You can click on it and subscribe. So I already have
excellent. Thank you.
that. No problem.
So, I do want to open up my channel for people to interact with me directly in the posts. A lot of people don't know this, but YouTube brought back the community tab, and they changed it so that viewers can actually go to the community tab and initiate conversations and ask questions.
That's cool. I actually don't
So,
really paid a lot of attention and saw the changes they made
so
too.
I do want to make. Leah's asking, will I have any online support groups? I don't know. YouTube doesn't like my channel for some reason, probably because I don't care about being monetized or any of that. So I don't have clearance yet to go live or do anything like that. But what I have done, or what I'm open to doing, is being able to, uh, as you saw, my phone number was on the flyer that was on the screen. Um, Learning how to talk between human beings again is something that needs to be, um, that needs to happen again. We need to relearn those skills. Uh, the vulnerability of direct communication, hearing people's uh, voices and directly, and not being able to just mute somebody's screen or do anything like that to manipulate the conversation. So yeah, I do want to reach out as many ways as possible because I know, um, this is necessary everywhere. But that's also why I want to make this concept available to everybody so that they can just do their own thing in their own areas with very little fuss or muss. And there's absolutely no proprietary thing with the name or anything else. This is a good idea. I've heard this over and over and over again. So if anybody wants to do it, they can.
Okay, yeah, no, that's what's amazing is like anybody really can. I've tried to say that several times. We've talked about that on the channel. Like like if you don't have any local type support things like that, like see if you can try to start something in your area. And that's you did that. You're taking it and you're really trying to work and start some community support in your area. Um, and yeah, I
I have to,
definitely.
because if I
And
don't, then I still don't have it.
I know, I understand, and that's what it is hard. I know it's got to be really hard to get it, that initial ball rolling, to get it going, get that started, because you have to start to build that community, and it's hard when you don't, like, you don't know. It's hard to find everybody that, like, for the community, and like who's going to join and get them to want to come out and join and feel like they're part of it. So um, yeah, no, that's really cool, and that's what I did. Was there something that I missed on the flyer too? I just want to make sure. So there was the 2 different days, right? You're doing the Thursday and
Yes.
the Tuesdays.
Um,
Um,
I don't want to presume on anyone's proximity to where I am, but if you do happen to be close enough to actually participate in these, there are two locations. There's the Shriner Memorial Library in Lancaster, Wisconsin, which is the first and third Thursdays, 2 to 4. That's actually been extended. It's now 2 to 6, 3 hours in the meeting room, and then an hour in the senior learning center. So you just move locations to give the staff time to clean the quote unquote meeting room, and then we transfer it to a different part of the library just for people that have to work or whatever, have to factor in another schedule. And then the other one is the second and fourth Tuesdays at the Hildebrand Memorial Library in Boscobel, 2 to 4 p.m. I don't have any extensions on that one yet, but I've been working with the staff to see if one is necessary.
okay, yeah, so that's awesome. And where's, sorry, where did you say the second one was? The Hillbrand? Where's that one? It's Lancaster also,
That's
or
in that's
was it
Boscobel.
Okay, just want to make sure it was set on here and clear, and for anybody that might watch this later and hear and be close enough to the area to want to reach out
That
and
would be
join.
awesome. I suffer no delusions, but it would be really cool.
Yeah. No, I know. That's why I know it's super hard, because even out here, there's a pretty big disability community out here, and I helped for a couple of years there, run one of the Triumph Foundation support groups out in this our area in San Bernardino area, um, and before the pre-pandemic, uh, it was everybody came and it was super easy. It was nice, and it just flowed. After the pandemic, trying to get it started
COVID
again
messed up so much.
has been extremely difficult. Like anytime it would be, there was a lot of times we would go to the hospital and nobody would show up, but there would be one or two patients that were in the hospital, so we'd get to
Mhm.
talk and like talk to them and give them a little bit more one-on-one support type of thing, which is great, and that honestly is very beneficial. And I don't mind doing that at all either. Like I'm happy to go drive out there if it is one person, but it
Mhm.
is hard. It's hard to get that going and started, um,
And One
and yeah.
one of
So
the unofficial things I want to do in between the scheduled gatherings is get out to like rehabilitation centers, residential care facilities, and just roll around, look for people that are looking for someone to talk to, and just talk to them. Nothing official, nothing promoting the organization or the whatever. Just being a person and giving a chance for someone to have a conversation with somebody.
yeah, yeah, no, I think that's great, and that's what a lot of people. That's what people need a lot of times, is just to have that conversation and to feel like they're not alone, and they can connect with somebody, and there's some form of support out there. Um, but yeah, and I was just gonna real quickly. Um, there was a couple questions, and
In
sorry.
the chat.
Angry Chat asked about my breathing. I'm just low and having like a little bit of clammy AD. I'm not feeling super great, but I'm okay. I'm breathing. I'm fine.
I
Thanks
was
for.
watching you. I was going to ask you if you were okay, but I figured you'd say if you weren't.
No, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit clammy feeling from some AD, but not as bad as it was this last week or whatever. Like I told you before the show, like on Friday, I was doing a peer-to-peer support group with Nicole's group, and off camera, I flipped the desk over with the laptop and our waters and everything. I flipped the entire desk over during the thing. So I don't want that to happen now. That's why I told Leland I was taking my my little THC pill and my bladder, my ditcher pan right before the show, because both those helped my spasticity. But anyways, back to our community sports stuff. And Derek mentioned Triumph, United Spinal, Christopher Reeve Foundation all have online support groups. And yeah,
Mhm.
that's what's great. So like that's why you can do your own local group and you can find some community support. And you guys all, if everybody needs it, there are these other bigger, national groups that people can join, which is amazing too. So those are all helpful things. And I should actually, we always mention all the time, Triumph does have a bunch of just free virtual support groups on their website. Casa Colina is a local hospital here. They do theirs on Friday mornings. And the virtual ones are very much just, uh, it is just that community hanging out talking. There's typically, uh, it's very supportive in the conversation when they're just those virtual ones like that sometimes. So I've never done the United Spinal and Christopher Reeves though, so but I assume they're probably similar.
I've had some contact with United Spinal. I have my thoughts on how they operate, but in general, the bigger organizations, I'm not I'm not taking any shine off of anybody. Um, there's a place for it, and the people that are okay with, with that level of interaction and most of what they do, whatever, they're settled into it, whatever, that's fine. This is more for those people who are looking for the more direct approach. So I don't have the weight on me of like, well, I'm letting so many people down by not having remote access. Everybody else is doing it. I don't need to worry about that. Everybody else is okay if they're okay doing that kind of thing. It's the people that don't want to live their entire social lives on a screen that I'm trying to reach.
Sorry, right? Yeah, yeah. I know everybody doesn't have the same purpose, same goals, and stuff. And that's what I do think that the benefit of like what you're doing, finding that local support, is you really do like you can really find like true community and support like that. You usually can like develop really good friendships and really like long term kind of support relationships and friendships that you can lean on and message and things like that. Like um, so that's why, because I know your area is a little more rural, so some of you guys might be driving an hour in opposite directions to get to that support group. So like you being a few hours away, you still are able to like support each other, be able to meet, do those things. And I think that's just incredible. And I honestly wish there was a group in like every county at least that
That
people
would be
could meet
nice.
up, like all across the country. Like, but yeah, I don't know how we get to that point.
Well, the infrastructure to do something like that would be based in some kind of agency. And once you add an agency to anything like this, it turns into a project, a program. And that's not helpful.
Yeah, no, I know. That's exactly. Once it becomes like a just like too much of a program, like you said, it's just like they're just showing up, kind of checking the boxes and going through, like maybe trying to like promote whatever product something, and not really like truly.
Membership rosters, contact lists, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, yeah. And real quick too, I also wanted to just mention in the chat, the first time listener here, Allison, thank you for joining. Really appreciate you checking out the channel. I don't know if that's somebody that you invited, maybe Leland, or
No,
if
I don't know. I don't know, Allison. This is a happy, a wanderer has come by, seen the light on, and made themselves to home. So go.
yeah, no, awesome. So we really do appreciate the support. Hope you keep coming back and watching, and you can check out Leland's channel as well. But yeah, that's what we're here for, is to be support. That's why we did the live to roll too. Is because I with something like this, I feel like it is somewhat accessible for people. You don't have to be on camera. You don't have to share, overshare. You can listen, because a lot of people do like to go and just listen, and that's how they get their support. But if you want to engage, ask, like Leland, reach out, talk, like be part of what we're doing. Like that's what everybody has lived through. We're all the community, and we're all just trying to support each other out here. It's like that's what that's the Live Troll chapters. I mean, the chapter is just kind of the online. I feel like right now, that's it. We are going to be shifting a lot to like. I'm not actually going to be doing any of the abilities expos this year. Not even our local LA one.
Really?
To concentrate on virtual support. Like we're going to be working a lot on that. Working on just more stuff for the channel. Also doing possibly like more of a like a Zoom virtual group where people can feel a little more heard
I
and
got it. I got it. I got to break in. I see a little thing going on in chat. I think Angry Quad is just being facetious, but Robin, Tara, glad to see you here. I know you guys have been coming here long before I started talking to you guys, but it's good to see you. And in terms of flip phones, someone,
yeah,
uh,
you still use one you said.
yes, see, it flips and everything.
You're probably one of maybe like a few thousand that are using flip phones in the country.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
No, I know that's cool. There is something about that old school flip when you're answering the phone and like hanging up that you just can't get from the smartphone.
There's something satisfying about the.
But no, that is
Yeah, I've got all kinds of like old stuff in my living space. I've got like antique sewing machines, old tech from like Victorian era. Just everything's analog here.
is that
Everything.
something
My
that you're into?
TV's.
Is collecting the like antique analog type stuff?
Oh yeah, collecting, learning how to repair. The other thing I do is I won't go too much into it, but it's a skill. It's a skill acquisition type thing called Mottle's New Machine, where uh, the things that I've learned how to do to see if I could still do them, I try to see if there's other people with disability or for whatever reason that want to learn a new skill, new craft or whatever, and then see what adaptations need to be made to make it more accessible to them so they can gain skill in whatever it is, whether it's making something, repairing something, restoring something, whatever.
Yeah, no, that's super cool, man. That's a cool. I love that, and that's one thing I feel like too that does help. Like, I know we're not necessarily community, but personal mental health well being is having some things like that, some hobbies, things you're interested in, thing like stuff you can take your mind off things to devote some of your time and things like that, and um,
I've,
you
I've apparently overestimated my stamina for today. I'm fading a little bit. Hang on.
no problem.
This is a wonderful medicinal concoction called sweet tea. Um, so the sugar boost helps.
No, I know. That's what when I start getting low, that sugar boost. I mean, that's not great for sustaining like
No.
the low because usually it helps and then you dip back again. You get that
Oh, the
like
crash is terrible.
the crash
The,
after the
the
sugar.
crash is horrible.
So you got
I hate it. But the
you got
boost
to
is nice.
yeah, you got to start with the sugar, and then yeah, that's what Leah's doing. That's what we've been doing. I keep like almonds in my backpack now all the time, like lightly salted
Mm.
almonds. So those are like my go-to snack because it's a little bit more, that'll little more sustainable. It doesn't take effect as quick as like the iced tea, like a sugary drink or something like that, because that sugar does hit you quickly, but it definitely lasts a little longer and keeps me a little
But
more level.
dairy's good for that though too. I go through a lot of milk, and I will randomly just roll to the fridge, grab a slice of cheese, and eat that, and I'm fine for the next few. However,
Huh, that's
it's
a good one.
it's
Actually,
helpful.
cheese slices, that's actually not a bad, yeah, that's a good idea too. Um, that does have a little bit more protein fattiness to it, so good for that. But yeah, no, that's something, and that's what's great about this community support. And like, if you can have a support group in your area, you have people to talk to, whatever it is being able to talk about these things. So, like, I learned pretty much everything I know and like everything I do from community support. I didn't learn anything from the hospital, from rehab, from the doctors and therapists. I learned from going to support groups and meeting people, and then playing rugby and meeting more people in the community and people that just kind of you could talk about stuff too, and they
Yeah.
understood what you're talking about, and like you can have a genuine conversation. So
And that's the thing. I've got like a couple able-bodied friends that I was neighbors with before I had to move. Um, I was forced by the landlord that wanted to throw my van into storage so he could remove snow easier.
yeah,
Unexpectedly, I was forced to move, but the neighbors I had when I was there became my current friends, and they visit me every once in a while. But it's still not the same as having people that speak the language, you know? Because sometimes they say some things that are just they don't mean them to be dumb, but it's like in our ears with our level of understanding, you're like, why would that leave your face?
yeah. No, I know. That's some people. They're not meaning to be, mean, rude, anything. They're just not thinking, and they just it ends up being inconsiderate, like because they're not considering
Right.
different things. They're not. They don't know, and a lot of that is just just not knowing, ignorance of what we do go through. Um, and yeah,
Uh, to answer Angry Quad, no, I can't do the beer thing because one, I used to do the beer thing and other assorted alcohols way too much. Uh, Plus, the neurodegenerative thing isn't really conducive to alcohol consumption, so I don't do that no more.
yeah. No, you got to do what's right for you, what's healthy. I know Leon mentioned cannabis. He does for same thing, I guess, to help with his um, relaxing and mental health. I'm sure. Hey, there's Nicole in the chat.
Hey,
Welcome.
Nicole. Allison's got a good perspective. Absolute same. Take every chance to talk to students. Little PRs, OTs in the making. Sprinkle some knowledge. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to mention too. You had mentioned like people, other people with disabilities and caregivers and stuff, or anybody that wants to learn. Like, I would honestly love to see any type of like doctor, nurse, therapist, even like social workers, like people that we deal with on a regular basis and deal with people that have any type of mobility disability, spinal cord injury, otherwise. But like if they were to want to take the time and come and listen in on a support group and learn, that would be amazing. But like I
But
don't see that happening a lot. But that would be so welcomed, I think, in most our groups. So,
off of their turf, outside of their comfort zone, because once you get them inside their comfort zone, they rule the scene and they know it. You get them into a non-clinical, informal environment and force them to interact as people. Like I tell people that professionals and the like that show that they're interested, I tell them, sure, you can come. You're not going to do any sales pitches. You're not going to promote your agency, your organization, whatever. You are 1000% off the clock if you come to one of the gatherings.
yeah, yeah, no, that's exactly how it should be. Like you're coming, you're not trying to sell yourself or your product, your services, anything like that. You just come in to learn, and that would be. I feel like for all most of us would feel like definitely welcoming of that, because all of us have been to the doctors, been somewhere where they don't know what you're dealing with. They don't know, like with AD and stuff like that, different things. They have no clue what all the different nuances that we deal with and stuff that we go
And you
through.
start to feel like a commodity. Like every question is designed to lead you into revealing something that they can actually interact with and gain some sort of benefit from or whatever, where they can prove, hey, I know about that thing, so let me tell you, you know. And I don't want anybody that's involved in living an active to feel like a commodity,
Yeah.
to feel like some sort of um, anything other than a person that's just trying to be a person.
No, exactly. That's what you should definitely feel like when you're going to something like that, especially when you're I mean, either way, if you're going to a support group, you're taking the time out of your day. You're seeking, some sort of community support. You don't want to feel like somebody's pushing something on you, somebody's trying to sell you on something, someone's trying to do anything that's not just be there as a community support person to listen and to, you know, to support. So 100% agree with that. And yeah, that's what I feel like. That's like I mentioned before, those like sponsored support groups. they can be a little bit just weird because you're like you
Yeah,
don't want to get sold something. You don't want like a catheter supply place selling you their catheter brand. Um, like
right. And you're just trying to enjoy being in another space with other disabled people and not feeling self-conscious about it.
right, yeah, you want to feel comfortable, like that you can share, and you're not going to be judged, or somebody's going to like take that with them back to their whatever, and I don't know, inappropriately shared, all kinds of things. Like you want to feel comfortable and confident in like you're in a space
Yeah,
that you can feel safe. So
yeah. And that's one of the things that I do have a concern for those people who closet, um, who shield their level of devotee status to gain entry and then just unleash the ick. I do have a concern for that because, and that leads to, I mean, there's it needs to be said that right now I'm at the point with living inactive where the people that know about it don't need it. The people that need it don't know about it. But I know once that starts to shift, then there's going to be, because we are so used to every single thing that's being offered to us being a disguise for something absolutely unpleasant and exploitive. So I've actually had to work already. I don't have anybody coming to these things yet, and I've already had to take a stand against a couple agencies and organizations and say, no, you're not getting past this point. I'm not going to let you do what you've just let me know you want to do by coming to these gatherings. It's not going to happen. You're not welcome. So, and then it comes to the point where disabled people, because we're so used to all this, we don't trust anything really and first sniff that's presented to us because most of it has been just carefully concealed uh, access to exploit or whatever.
yeah,
Sorry,
no,
I
no,
got a little bit fading.
no problem, man. I know that's a. I was starting to feel a little low too. I am still feeling a little low and like a little, getting a little like low AD clamminess still. So we're all
It
powering.
appears neither of us timed this very well.
uh,
But that's the
uh,
reality. You got to go through what you have, and you can't always just say, well, I'm starting to feel like crap, so you know what, time's up, everybody disperse. Just the flagging, the fading, all of that is part of our experience, so it should be part of anything we do to you know to come together in that experience and say, hey, yeah, you're not weird, you're not a freak. Other people go through this too, and we just do the best we can.
yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. We're all doing the best we can, and like and trying to get through this. So yeah, that's I was gonna real quick too, just go back. Someone, where was it? Sorry,
I'm terrible at keeping up with chat.
Ken. There we go. There it is. Had asked about a colostomy, and I was just gonna real quickly. No, I don't have a colostomy. I don't know how you manage your bowels, Leland, if you have one. But Leah mentioned in the chat, we actually will maybe try to do that. Do like a colostomy show and have Bobby on and a couple other people to discuss. And maybe Ken, maybe Ken would like to come on and ask some of the questions. We could get a couple people that have them. But yeah, but Leon, sorry, I cut you off. Did you? You don't
No,
have a
no, no.
colostomy?
Huh? No, I don't, and that's fine. I mean, we're here for all of the people too. Chat is not a side consideration. That's why I keep looking over to it. So I try to catch as many people as I can, because I absolutely love being in chat and interacting with everybody and seeing how awesome everybody is together. So I don't want to take away from that either. Myself, as far as I have a very weird experience. My level of injury, C6, C7 incomplete, but it's cumulative. I have multiple levels of injury, spinal column, spinal cord, through all levels of my spine. There's a lot of damage. There's everything else. but it's all incomplete. So I still have, as they say, all internal plumbing. Uh, I don't have a colostomy or anything, but what I do have is an unresolved umbilical hernia, and I use that actually to physically aid with bowel, and then bladders just gravity feed whatever. So no, I don't have any. I'm an incomplete quad, but I don't have any leg bags or ostomy bags or anything like that going on.
Okay, well, no, that's really great. Always like to hear people don't have to do as much of the stuff. It's always a
I
good
feel
thing.
like a poser though. Like, am I really quadriplegic if I don't have a catheter? You know, like
Well, do you have to do intermittent catheterization, or can you void on your own, like use like a condom catheter, and or you can like actually use like a uh, what's it called, the urinal, like little like urinal just to pee in or something.
I can void on my own.
Cool.
And I don't have too many. Right, like I'm the privileged. I'm the ultra. Uh, I have all of the privilege of incomplete quad that there can be. So I'm very blessed, but I'm grateful. I don't take it lightly because I am alone. I'm absolutely alone. I don't have a caregiver. I don't have anybody. Like my friends come by, but not often enough to do whatever. So if I didn't have that ability, I wouldn't be able to live in my own apartment. I wouldn't
Mm,
be able to have the autonomy and independence that I have. So I'm very grateful, but I do still every once in a while get poser syndrome or poser. What's that called? The imposter syndrome.
Posters, yeah.
Poser, whatever. I'm a poser.
Oh,
I cosplay as a paraplegic. You know, like
yeah, that's funny. But yeah, no, that's what is wild about like a spinal cord injury and a lot of different disabilities, but definitely with spinal cord injuries, it's so very like very like some people, because I've played rugby with guys, like one of the older guys I played rugby with for a lot of years. He was like a walking quad, you know, like he could like he
mhm.
looked like you could tell he had impairment when he walked, like obviously,
I
but
do
he could
not
also
envy
stand.
walking quads at all. Like,
Yeah,
figure you're walking, you're not hurt. Yeah.
yeah, no, I know. That's what's it's wild. Like, and then like he would be able to stand up, like pull himself up on the urinal and void on his own. Like he could pee on his own, like at the regular things,
Awesome.
like you know.
That's
Like
pretty
I
cool,
always thought that
actually.
was super cool. I was like, damn, that's cool, Terry. Like, you can,
You're my
like
hero.
yeah. It's like, I always thought that was great that he could do that, you know. But so like I just everybody does vary, and I don't think anybody should be like, you should always feel good about whoever, other people's abilities. Like
Oh
always
yeah, I celebrate them
be
all.
happy,
Like,
yeah,
they're
celebrate people.
cool.
Like I like yeah, so just be grateful. I'm always just trying to be grateful for what I do have, because I know I'm pretty fortunate. Like as my level of quad to like I feel like I was just barely at that level to where I did allow myself to have enough independence to like transfer and dress and do things like some basic care things on my own, which for me, even mental health wise, helped me a lot in the beginning, just being able to not be solely dependent on somebody. Like, and I'm incredibly grateful. And I know a lot of people that are right at my level that can't do the same. So,
Right.
like, it's just,
I was watching. I was watching a video on Robin Tara's channel, and he had to take on the slide board. This is cool. You should go look for it, check it out, whatever. I was
oh,
impressed. I put it on loop. But he had taken a slide board and attached power bands to it, mounted to something on his wall, and he was using that as like a lat pull. And I was like,
hi.
I used to be a gym bro. I used to live in a gym, whatever. I was all about the powerlifting and the conditioning and all this other stuff. So I saw that. They let anyone in the quad club. Yeah, Leon, they do. They don't care. But I was just so impressed with that. I watched it over and over and over again. Watched the different ways and the angles of of exertion, I guess, that he was managing to get, and I was happy for him. You know that he could do the things. So, yeah, I love celebrating. Um, you know the levels of ability that other people have. You know, because you hear quadriplegic, you hear wheelchair, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm a vegetable now. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, that's what when people hear quadriplegic, typically the first image they have is like a vented quad, like a Christopher Reeves. That's what they
Right.
instantly think
You just moved
that,
your
that
arm.
you're
You're
Christopher.
faking. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been told when I first started my channel, I had people actually commenting a bunch like you're moving your arms, you're not a quadriplegic. I'm like, I guess I'm not. I guess I've been mistaken this whole time. Damn. Like, apparently I have
You
been,
caught me. Like
and I've had plenty of people even in person, like in things, yeah, try to tell me like correct me, like, no, you're paraplegic. I'm like, thanks.
yeah, high five.
I know. But yeah, no, that
That's
is.
it's weird, but that just goes to show like it's an example of why this is needed because there's so much of that dorky stuff out there. We need a chance. We need an opportunity to be able to gather together and just be who we are, as we are, and learn from people with other disabilities.
Yeah.
Like I hope at some point, living inactive gets to the point where there's some blind people, there's some deaf people, and like wheelchair and white cane user are able to occupy the same space and learn how to maneuver safely around each other, and it turns into a game. Like let's do relay races. Let's have a blind person push a quad in the wheelchair, or a paraplegic in
And
the wheelchair. Let the guy in the wheelchair steer, and let them work on coordinating, coordination. Like, okay, in 3 steps, we need to go right, and I'm going to take you to the right. I'm leaning the wrong way, but whatever. And
no,
so,
I love
and
this
just
idea.
doing things like that.
No, I love that idea actually. And like that's what um, we've been trying to make sure because I originally, when I did start this channel, I kept referring spinal cord injury, like like, but that's not we don't want to be limited. Like that's what I want to have, not only all mobility impairments, but like you said, blind, deaf, people just dealing with anxiety disorders. Anything that people need support, want to have a community, want to be part of a group, and like you said, you can do really fun, cool stuff like that. Like that's honestly an amazing idea. I think like you get
That's
somebody.
why I want to keep the agencies and organizations out of it so that we're free to do these things. Not like, I hope core groups can come up where, like, if I get snowed in and I don't have to show up to a town I don't live in, and then they can still do their thing. But if I'm not there, everything doesn't grind to a halt because nobody knows what to do. People are just so used to interacting and just being able to be free and do whatever just to make the most of the time they have together, that it just happens naturally and I don't have to be there. I would want to be there because it's for, I don't have it if I don't go. So, but if I for something happens and I can't be there, then it doesn't detract from the benefit other people can have from going.
Right, yeah. No, exactly. Everybody's part of it. Everybody's there to support. One person doesn't make the group. One thing doesn't make it. And that's again same thing. Like yeah, like that's why I feel like it's important, like to have like just more of like that real general, like genuine community support, um, and everybody be part of it. That's why that's what we want to do here too. Like I don't want to feel like there is. That's what Leah
And
has
you guys
really
are
emphasized. Like no hierarchy here. Like you're just as important as me with Live to Roll. Leon just as important in the chat. Like even like everybody that's involved, watching now, watching later, commenting. Everybody is part of this community, and we are all just as important. We're all equals here. So like
This is a really great community. I'm very fortunate to have found all of you. Chat, you guys on screen, everybody.
yeah, no, I know that is really cool. And like I was gonna shout out to uh Rob mentioned that in the chat. It's actually the Walt Angry Quad Maiden. So it's called the Tower of Power.
Nice.
And I know he mentioned that when he was on the show that he went out and visited and met with Angry Quad. They drove out and stayed with him for a couple days, got to
Mhm.
meet. So like that's what it's about, that community support. Like, you know, Angry
Andrew
Quad is.
Quad has done a lot. Like
Oh, he's awesome.
I hear.
Support. Yeah, no, I think he already left the chat maybe, but definitely he's
Did
been
he?
he
Oh, I
mentioned
missed
earlier,
him.
he said got to go, I think a little bit earlier, but sometimes he says that and
Um,
then pops back in. So
oh,
um
jeez.
but
I'm terrible at following the chat. I apologize.
well, today's really busy. We got 176 chat thing. That's a high level of chat. So it's
Holy
been
cat.
We've had quite a lot of interaction through this hour, and we are getting towards the end here now. We are going to be
We
wrapping up
are.
the show,
Wow.
like um, but yeah, I do appreciate everybody's support. I appreciate you coming on here, and like I said, we are all equals, and all like we are live to roll. We are living and active. Like we are the community, like
Sincerely grateful
we're
and
here
happy to
for
be here.
what?
Sincerely grateful and happy to be here. This was awesome. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no, thank you, man. And then I definitely know that we'll have you back on the channel plenty. Like we told Rob and stuff the other day, like too, like you guys, and I gotta get Angry Quad on here too. Just saying, I
You
want to get
have
everybody,
to.
like we're all here, like I want to get everybody. I want to hear from everybody. I want everybody to be part of this and share and stuff. Um, so yeah, that's what we're all about. So.
Awesome.
Um, and yeah, that's what Leah put in there. No influencer shit. Yeah, that's what, like, we're not the
Exactly. Yeah.
trying to be influencers. We're trying to be a support network here for everybody out there that could use it. So
YouTube has enough YouTubers.
yeah, that's what, like, yeah, that's what you guys don't need to see what I'm eating for breakfast every day and whatever. I'm happy to share that when we do diet and nutrition stuff. Like, we talk about healthy eating and all that, but I'm not. That's just not what I'm going to be doing for on our social media stuff. um, um,
Exactly.
and it's your baby growing, Shawn. Yeah, it is. I guess it was my baby, but now it's the community's baby. What? I want. I don't want this. She said that's weird, but I
I was confused for a second. I didn't get it. I'll
was
admit
just
that.
saying
Like,
because it's
I,
not mine
that's
anymore. It belongs to the people. But yeah. Anyways, um, I do really appreciate you coming on and sharing and talking about this stuff. I do have the Living and Active YouTube link down in the description below. So make sure you guys do click on
appreciate that.
that, subscribe, watch some of the videos he's got posted up on there. And
They're very long and very boring, most of them. I'll tell
okay.
you right now.
Well, if you guys want some longer, boring, and I don't know if they're boring. I watched that one you sent the one you sent like in Tag Live to Roll. It was like
Oh, yeah,
40
yeah,
minutes
yeah.
or something like that. Like, but it was good. I mean, you're passionate about what you're doing. You talk about stuff. I think it's good. So just keep doing it. We'll support and yeah, just keep doing
I
what you're
appreciate that.
doing. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and thank our sponsors. Start to wrap up the show, and then I'll give you the last minute or so to kind of share whatever last little bit of information, anything you want to share with everybody watching.
Okay.
So just wanted to thank our sponsors, and that's one thing I appreciate our sponsorship, but in no way do our sponsors dictate anything that we do. They gave me free reign to do whatever. We do just shout them out. I do use them. I'm getting a new wheelchair through them, but a lot of people have contacted me and haven't been able to use them for insurance reasons or other reasons. Um, but we do just appreciate their support, and we appreciate everybody's support. Not trying to like shove things down your throat. I just wanted to make that clear. But we do appreciate Mobility Professionals is a local DME here in Southern California. That's where I've got my last couple chairs from, and they have been very good to me. They come help do everything. They have people that I know and friends of the community that are part of the community that actually work for them, so they are not just people trying to dictate stuff, and that's why I do appreciate them. And they donate a lot and do a lot of support locally for different stuff, like even Live to Roll. And then Urology Professionals is their sister company. They're nationwide, so if you guys need catheter supplies, they will ship them directly to your doorstep anywhere in the country. So look them up, check them out, give them a call, see if it'll work for you. If not, no worries. We do appreciate your support regardless. And yeah, thank you everybody watching, and everybody that joins the conversation. We do appreciate all the support. That is how Live to Roll grows, and that's what we're really truly about. Um, so yeah, uh, Leland, you want to go ahead and take the floor? You can finish. Let us share whatever you'd like.
Sure. I just want to say, like I mentioned earlier that this is intended to grow without me, independent of me, whatever else. I don't care if some 5,000 people run with this idea, even if they call it living to active or they don't call it living to active or whatever. It's all about us reclaiming our ability to admit that we are humans, that we deserve to be able to be interacted with as humans, to seek friendship, to gain friendship, to build friendships that don't operate in, you know, corporately owned accessible spaces on the regular business hours type of schedule. You know, it's about reclaiming our ability to be social creatures, to be decent to each other and look for opportunities um, to 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 jump back into uh, the some of the vulnerability, some of the risk, but understanding that those things are worth the investment in finding friends, interactions, relationships, whatever you want to call it. Um, is so I can't be everywhere, obviously. If you have something like this, if you don't have something like this anywhere near you, then maybe you're supposed to be the one to act as the initial friend for everybody and get it going. And it doesn't have to look like what I'm doing. It's whatever you can do, whatever you can cobble together with whatever you have available. So there's no pattern to follow. There's no whatever. Just see, need equals opportunity, and opportunity equals you don't need to ask for anyone's permission. You don't need to wait for anybody to give you the go ahead. Just do what you got in your heart and let other people benefit from it for your sake and for theirs.
Yeah, no, well said. That is definitely um, important, and yeah, that's I definitely encourage anybody out there to take those words of advice um, and yeah, no, that was really good, man. Thanks, Leland. Do really appreciate you coming on and sharing. Honestly, this is really great,
Thanks
and
for having me.
no, yeah, I really do appreciate it, man. And I'm glad we were able to get you on and actually share. And I appreciate even the topic and stuff coming up. Like it is a really good, important topic, and I know we'll have you back on here plenty more times in the future. So,
Excellent.
and yeah, Lee already shouted out. I forgot, I didn't mention. Thursday we have Rolling with the Golden Oldies coming on as well. Thursday at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. The ladies are going to be talking about aging with a disability. And actually, they did text what their topic was, and I actually haven't checked it today. We just got back a little bit before the show, and we're doing some home stuff, and I didn't get a chance to do it yet. So I'll let you guys know. But I actually look forward to their show. I actually missed it last month, um, or wasn't able to post it. Bobby did it for us, so it'd be great. They always have some really cool information, really great info. So, or yeah, just uh, really good topics and stuff too. So, all right, you guys, thank you again, Leland. Really do appreciate you coming on here with us, Sharon. Thank you everybody in the chat, everybody that watches after. We really appreciate all the community support. We couldn't do it without you. That's what we're all here doing, is just trying to support each other. So we do appreciate it. Yeah, we'll see you guys on Thursday, and then next Tuesday we'll be back again. And live to roll, everybody.
Have a good one.